Welcome to Bucket of Chum, the Shark Movie Podcast.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Bucket of Chum, the Shark Movie Podcast. This week I am talking about Shark Exorcist from 2014, directed by Donald Farmer. God, I don't even know where to start with this one. It's a movie, alright. It's something. It seems like for this movie they had like a short film and then they added a bunch of random shit in between like the main storyline. So this movie is all over the place. But you know what? Let's just dive into it. Let's get into the plot of this thing. Even at an hour and 11 minutes, this thing feels like you're watching a 3-hour movie sometimes. It's rough. But anyways, let's get into it. So we open up in a graveyard. A nun's walking through it. She goes up to the water and she starts spouting some shit like, the world has betrayed me, so the world will taste my vengeance. What the world has done to her, what is going on, we don't know. And spoiler alert, I don't think we ever find out in this movie, unless at some point I tuned out. I don't know. I don't think we ever figure it out. This blonde girl walks up behind her, calls her a bitch, says she knows what the nun did. Again, we don't know what the nun did. We don't really find out. Then the nun stabs her in the stomach, and then drags her body into the water. And then she asks Satan to send her an avenger, and then kicks the body into the water. And then in the water, we see this terrible CGI shark with glowing eyes. I don't even know if I can say the CGI is terrible, because it's actually a decent looking shark, but it's like the only shot of the shark that they have. Like, we see the same thing throughout the entire fucking movie, but again, with these movies, it is what it is, so we just have to fucking deal with it. And then we go to 1 year later. Why is it 1 year later? I don't know, but it is, so here we are. So we're in a car with three girls, Lauren, Emily, and Allie, on their way to a lake. Lauren starts bitching about how there's so much heat, there's no AC in the car. And then the girl in the back seat's always like, oh, you're always so mean. And Lauren, I'm always nice, but if this isn't one amazing water park, I'm going to be pissed off. Big fucking deal. Lauren's told that it's just a lake, and she's sure that they're just going to have an amazing water slide at this lake. Apparently, she's never been to a fucking lake before. She doesn't know, like, what involves going to a lake. So she's like, well, is there at least a wave pool there? No, there's no fucking wave pool, Lauren. There's nothing. There's no water slide, and maybe there's a floating dock and a beach. That's it. That's all you fucking get. You're going to a lake. You're not going to a water park. Don't know what she doesn't get about this. Very fucking irritating, but whatever. It's fine. But on the way, she's like, oh, why don't we just skip it and just go home? Like, really? You're already, like, almost there, and you're just like, oh, well, it doesn't have a fucking water slide. I don't want to go in the water. Like, are you... whatever. So they get to the lake, and then Lauren and Allie go to tan by the water. Lauren and Allie go to tan by the water. Allie leaves a voicemail for her boyfriend, Bobby, I guess. Some shit. It doesn't matter. I don't care about this. It comes up later on, but it really doesn't fucking matter. And then Allie gets in the water, and she's swimming around, and then, you know, we see the same shot of this CGI shark, and, you know, it's stalking her in the water. And then out of nowhere, Lauren and Emily spot Allie in the water, and apparently she's been attacked. We don't really see any of this happen. And then there's a shot in the hospital, and then all we hear over the intercom is like, oh, there's been a shark attack, and we need this doctor to the ER. And, like, that's it. That's all we see in the hospital. It's completely fucking pointless. I don't even know why they bother including it, but this is what I'm talking about. Like, there's just scenes in here that are pure filler. Like, they bring nothing to the story, and not even in an interesting way. It's nothing. It's pointless. It's stupid. Anyways, so then we cut to a newscast, and it says there's been a bunch of shark attacks. And then we cut to, like, this is, like, it just cuts back and forth between all these random scenes. Like, they're trying to build a story or something, but it's just so poorly done. it's dumb. I don't know what else to say about it. And so then Lauren and Emily are in an arcade, and then Emily tells Lauren that Allie has been released and she's miraculously recovered from her shark bite. It's just magically healed on its own. Like, oh wow, what does that mean? And Emily is concerned that Allie's going to go back to her boyfriend Bobby, the guy that she was leaving a voicemail for earlier, whatever. And then Lauren says, oh, Bobby wants nothing to do with her. And then she kind of looks off, like, all coy-like, and it's basically insinuating that she's been sleeping with Bobby. So not only is she annoying, she's a terrible fucking friend, too. So, yeah, it's okay to not like her. It's fine. She's terrible. So then we cut into the intro of Ghost Whackers. So this is a reality show hosted by this girl named Nancy Chase, and she wants to find the reason behind the shark attacks. She believes that they're, part of spiritual world or some shit. Like, she has no reason for believing in this, but she's just like, yeah, here on Ghost Whackers, we're gonna find the truth about this. So, okay, so she wants to create a fucking psychic link to find out what really happened at the lake. But, like, nothing else in this movie has happened to suggest anything nefarious, other than there's a fucking shark in a lake, which is weird. But to just immediately go to, oh, Satan's involved. She does some cheesy seance at the water, has some sort of fucking seizure, and then it seems like she's possessed, and then she says in, like, this growly voice, these waters are mine, And then that's all we get of that. And then we cut to Emily and Allie, and it's been 3 weeks. Again, why? Who cares? I don't know. There's, like, a heartfelt music and conversation. Allie assures Emily she's fine. Allie apparently has just been spending her time soaking in the bath. Emily's very concerned about Allie spending all her time in the bath. So they're having this conversation, and then Allie just kind of fucks off and starts hitchhiking, and then some douchebag-looking guy pulls up in a truck. They talk some dumb shit, and it's like, oh, let's go to the water, blah. So they go to the fucking water. Allie goes under the water. This guy's in the water, so she dips underneath, and then he's attacked by the shark. This possessed demon shark, which I guess at this point we're just supposed to assume that it's Allie. She's turning into a shark, I guess. That's at least what's in fucking implied. So then the guy is dead, and that's it. So then we cut to this priest, Father Michael. He gets a letter. There's narration, and so I'm guessing the douchey guy that we just saw die is supposed to be his brother. The narration says, like, oh, we don't know what happened. We're still investigating it. It's under mysterious circumstances or some shit. Whatever. And then we go back to Emily and Allie's place. I'm assuming they live together, it seems like. Emily goes to Allie's room looking for her, and, ooh, she's not there. And then cut to Nancy of Ghost Whackers saying the shark is possessed by a demon. Again, this movie is fucking all over the place. We're just cutting back and forth between people to try... I don't know if they were trying to make it more interesting, or if they thought they had a story and just they really didn't. Like, I have no fucking idea. Anyways, as she's saying that the shark is possessed by a demon, someone off-screen yells, bullshit! And then Nancy's like, who the fuck said that? It's so fucking weird. It's just totally random. So this girl comes over, and she's from some rival paranormal show called Ghost Fakers, and she claims that Nancy is making all this shit up, and then just walks away. And then we go back to Father Michael, outside a church, scrolling through photos of demons on his phone, I guess. And I'm pretty sure even we see Pazuzu from The Exorcist on there. I guess it's just supposed to be a fun little nod, but, nobody really cares. So then we cut to 3 girls in a graveyard doing a fucking seance of some sort. Then there's a girl in white going through the graveyard. She's, like, got blood on her and shit. She collapses, rolls around, and we, I guess we're supposed to assume she's possessed or something. And then we go back to this seance, and one of the girls goes into a trance. Then we go back to the girl in white. She's bleeding from her eyes. Seance girl opens up her eyes, and then cut to Father Michael for some reason. And again, like, this seance in the graveyard has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. Like, I don't know why it's in here. It has nothing to do with a shark or an exorcist. Like, nothing. Fucking nothing. And then we cut to a girl on one of those playground spinners, you know, those things that just fucking spin in a circle. And she's holding, like, 2 toy sharks in her hands, screaming with joy. And then, like, she just maniacally starts playing with these sharks. And then she starts playing on all the other playground equipment. And this is a grown-ass woman. I kind of feel like they were trying to imply that maybe she was autistic or something. Which, I mean, it doesn't add anything to the movie. And it's just kind of in poor taste, really. But, I mean, fuck, here we are. So as this girl's running around, she runs into Allie and then asks Allie if she wants to play. And then Allie talks about how much she likes sharks. And then the stranger asks her what she likes to do for fun. And Allie responds, I like to get wet. Oh, so fucking funny, isn't it? Oh, shoot me. So and then we cut to, it's nighttime now. And so these 2 girls go to a pool. And the playground girl's like, you said you like to get wet. Like, she just fucking screams it at her. And then there's some cheesy porn music playing as Allie reveals her swimsuit. And then the playground girl undresses and is in a bathing suit and joins Allie as well. She takes one of her toy sharks when she's in the pool and, like, just starts squirting water out of it. Like, burp, 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 burp. And then Allie starts putting her hands on playground girl and says she's listening to her heartbeat. And then Allie goes underwater, disappears, wakes up in bed screaming. What was the point of that? I have no fucking idea. Other than, I guess we're just supposed to know that Allie's a fucking weirdo and turning into a shark. But again, why? Like, this brought nothing to the movie. But whatever. And now we're back to our favorite ghost hunter from Ghost Whackers. And Nancy does another fucking seance asking the shark to show itself. Then she's in a trance. She says she can feel the presence and says, come inside me. Which, again, I'm assuming is supposed to be a funny joke. Come inside me. Whatever. And then her fucking cameraman runs away, exclaiming that he doesn't get paid enough for this shit, so he just fucks off. And then Nancy's still, like, thriving on the fucking ground, being like, oh, infect me inside me. Then we cut to Allie and another girl swimming while the shark stalks the water. Allie goes under, and the stranger disappears, and then they're dead. Oh, and then we see that the no swimming sign has been tossed in the water. So I guess Allie took the sign down to lure people into the water, is what we're supposed to fucking assume here. Again, whatever, who cares? Like I said, this movie is only an hour and 10 minutes. I watched it on fucking Tubi, and it felt like a 3-hour movie. And, like, I'm all about these, like, shitty shark movies and just, like, terrible monster movies in general, but this one's a bit of a slog. So, but, let's try and get fucking through this here. So, then this girl from the rival ghost hunting show, her name's Brianna, is watching Nancy from Ghost Whackers, trying to expose her for being a fraud, and starts following her. But as she's following her, Nancy is obviously possessed. She turns around, fucking pukes on Brianna. And then we cut to a man jogging around a marina. He finds the random woman from earlier in the water, then pukes, and says, as he's fucking puking, oh, she's still kind of hot, I'd still do her. Ugh. Like, ugh. So stupid. I mean, if they were gonna do, like, the comedic route with this movie, they needed to go, like, all in a bit more, because, like, it just does not come through how they thought it was gonna come through, I think. Like, it doesn't fucking work. But so then we cut to 2 girls outside a pizza place running into a car. They both get in the front seat of this fucking car, and I mean, I don't know about you, but, like, any car is made after, like, fucking 1970. Like, there's just the 2 fucking seats in the front. Like, you can't fit 3 people in the front seat of this car. So, like, one girl's gonna have, like, the fucking gear shipped up her ass or something, but whatever. I don't get the fucking point of it. Apparently, they're sorority girls. The girl driving is getting them to do ridiculous shit so they can join the sorority. So one of the things is she takes them down to the fucking lake and is like, oh, do you know where we are? And they're like, oh, it's a lake. And like, yeah, this is where all the shark attacks have been happening, so you got to go swim in the water for 10 minutes. Yeah, sure, because like, why would you be stupid enough to do this in the first place, which is frustrating enough. And so the two girls are standing in the water for a bit. The other girl's like egging them on. We get a shot of the shark, and then we just hear it eat the sorority girl. And that's it. She's dead. That's all we see of these three. Again, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, the scene is completely unnecessary, added nothing to the story. Why? This movie just had me asking why a lot. So, yeah. So Father Michael shows up to Emily and Allie's place. Emily makes sure he's a real priest because Allie has that look, which gets her stalkers, I guess. She looks like someone who gets stalkers. Whatever. It's a stupid... Oh, fuck, who cares? So then Father Michael tells Emily about the shark attack a year earlier, and he's concerned it's the same shark. Well, fucking duh, it's in a lake. Sharks don't live in lakes. Like, it just... and I'm pretty sure this isn't even a town that's, like, attached to the ocean. Like, it's fucking landlocked. So it makes even less fucking sense. So then Emily says Allie's been acting weird. Father Michael says he needs to tell Emily something. And then we cut to a fair. It's nighttime. It's a fair. Allie is walking around, and she seems to be following Lauren and Bobby. We get to Bobby. We see Bobby finally. Yay! Father Michael and Emily get into a car, drive off. Then we're back at the fair. Father Michael and Emily show up. Allie continues to stalk Lauren and Bobby around this fair. She opens her mouth, and suddenly all of her teeth are super sharp. Like a shark's teeth. This is the first time we see this. And then the whole time we see like Bobby and Lauren, like every time they're on screen, they're talking, but there's no dialogue coming through. There's just like the fairground noise and music playing. But it looks like Bobby dumps Lauren, and then Father Michael and Emily wander the fair. Allie finds Bobby on his own and then bites him. Father Michael and Emily show up. And then, of course, Father Michael's like, the power of Christ compels you. And then we cut to black. And then we fade in on Allie tied to a tree while Father Michael and Emily perform an exorcism. And Emily says, we're going to need a bigger cross. Yay, we got our Jaws reference in the shark movie. Whoop-de-fucking-do. And it doesn't even make any fucking sense. And again, I think they're trying to go for something more humorous than what it actually ended up being. Whatever. Allie pukes all over Father Michael, and then Father Michael just kind of loses his shit, and then he goes to choke Allie, but suddenly she's not tied to the tree anymore. But again, maybe I tuned out at this part, but like, she was tied up and then suddenly she's not. Like, there's nothing to show why she wasn't tied up anymore. The demon offers to take Father Michael's body and leave Allie. She kisses Father Michael and collapses, and now Father Michael is possessed and bites Emily. Then there's a bright light in the sky. Allie and possessed Father Michael look at it, and the shark starts coming through and the screen goes black. So yeah, this is like the only other time we actually get a look at the shark, which again isn't great at all, and I don't understand why the shark is coming from the sky, why there's a shark even involved in the first place. It's weird. I don't know. It's fucking weird. So then we're inside some random woman's car driving. She pulls up to a swimming area, so I'm guessing it's this same fucking lake. Some guy is like creeping her from behind a fucking tree. So she's walking around, she gets into her swimsuit and then just lays down, I guess, to tan, even though it's fucking cloudy as fuck this day, but whatever works for you, I guess. And then the creepy guy starts to approach her, and he starts taking pictures of her with his phone, but he's like right beside her. I mean, like a foot away from her. And then he's like putting his hands down like he's gonna touch her, but he's just like hovering over her. And somehow she doesn't hear like any of this, like nothing. He starts scrolling through the pictures he's taken while still hovering over her, and then suddenly she wakes up and the creep is gone. He's disappeared. Why we needed this scene, why this creep was here, no fucking idea. So she starts to pack up her shit, and then she starts screaming, and we see it's the nun coming at her with a knife. The same nun from the beginning of the fucking movie. Suddenly she's back. Why? We don't know. We're not fucking told why, but here she is. And then all we see is blood hit the nun's face as she stabs away. And then she licks the blood off the knife and is like, "Hail Satan!" Some girl emerges from the water behind her, pulls her into the water. We see the CGI shark and not much else. I don't know if I was supposed to know who this was. It kind of looked like Nancy from Ghost Whackers, but I couldn't tell you. Again, this is probably just my brain fucking tuning some of this shit out or trying to make sense out of it. I don't know. Anyways, we cut to Lauren on a dock as Emily stumbles towards her. She starts to undress into her swimsuit, and Lauren's like, "Oh, what's wrong?" And Emily's like, "You don't want to know. Forgive me." And then jumps into the water. Okay. The CGI shark jumps out of the water at Lauren and cut to black. And then we get a graphic of blood spatter as the title Shark Exorcist appears. And then we roll credits, and that's the end of the movie. Or so you would fucking hope, but it's not. Because this movie has like a fucking 10-minute end credit scene. 10 fucking minutes. So we get a few credits, and now we cut to, we're in an aquarium. There's some random girl just watching fish, and then she goes to the gift shop, and she starts like eerily petting the plushy shark stuffed toys or whatever, and then she starts grabbing like 10 of them. Suddenly we're back out looking at the fish again, and she starts leaning on the fish tank, and then she starts crying. Then she starts rubbing a plastic shark on her face and on her neck, like very weird and creepy like. Why? I don't fucking know, because I'm pretty sure we haven't seen this character in the movie at all, so I have no idea what the fuck is happening right now. She turns around, then she drops the toy shark, turns back around towards the camera, like a weird orange liquid starts coming out of her mouth, and then that's the actual end of the movie. Now we're actually fucking done. So I don't know what this post-credit scene is supposed to be, but don't worry guys, 2023, we're getting Shark Exorcist 2. Fuck me. I mean, obviously I'm going to watch and I'll probably fucking review it on this show, but I mean, after this, I don't know what they were going for with this movie at all. I think maybe it could have worked as like a funny short if they cut out kind of all the unnecessary characters and scenes and then just made a short out of it. But they didn't do that. They made a full feature-length movie of just complete fucking nonsense. So I mean, listen, if they make a sequel, Shark Exorcist, it sounds like a great fucking idea. Just very poorly executed. So maybe the sequel will be better? Question mark? Hopefully? I don't know. And like this guy that directed it, Donald Farmer, like he's been around since the 70s. He's directed a lot of like B-grade trashy movies, but you would still kind of expect a little bit more competence. But we don't get that. Unfortunately, we don't get that. So that's too bad. But anyways, that is Shark Exorcist. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Facebook at Bucket of Chum Podcast. Like, subscribe, leave a review. Tell me what you're liking about the show. Tell me what you don't like. Send me messages on Instagram. Tell me what movies do you want to see me review. What else do you want me to talk about? And that's all for this week, guys. I'll see you next week for another episode of Bucket of Chum.
Thanks for listening to Bucket of Chum, the Shark Movie Podcast.